morning and welcome to the March meeting of the Community and Cultural Investment Subcommittee. This subcommittee focuses on our city's efforts around sustainability and recycling, our neighborhoods, parks, arts, libraries, education, and Head Start, and homelessness. And I would like to call this meeting to order. Today's date is March 2nd, 2022, and the time is 10:02 a.m. And we are going to start today's meeting with a call to the public. Are there any cards requesting to speak during this time?
Chairwoman Guardado, we have 2 speakers for public comment.
Perfect. And then is our city attorney there to read the statement on public comment? Can we start with our attorney?
Yes, Councilwoman. For those who don't know me, my name is Patty Boland, and I have been assigned to this subcommittee, so I will be appearing at all your meetings. And I'd like to read the citizen comment. During citizen comment, members of the public may address the subcommittee for up to 3 minutes on issues of interest or concern to them. The Arizona Open Meeting Law permits the subcommittee members to listen to the comments, but prohibits members from discussing or acting on the matters presented. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our first speaker is Gary Kirkeles. Gary, are you on the line?
I am.
Please proceed.
Thank you, members of the council. I wanted to bring into attention a matter that is a cultural and community matter in the Northwest Phoenix area. I'm sure some of you might have heard of this, but the Sonoran Desert Preserve, which is many considered one of the crown jewels of the Northwest Valley, a home developer is attempting to remove the desert character overlay zoning ordinance. And as a member of a citizens action group, we find this to be a little concerning because this is a public city park, and the zoning ordinance is a part of this preserve. And so we would like to make sure that the subcommittee understands that a large group of individuals, hikers, bikers, nature lovers who use this public land, the city park of Phoenix, do so because it's a jewel of ours. And when we see a home developer seeking to remove a preserved zoning ordinance, it's a really important matter. So we just wanted to make sure that you were aware, and that there's a large group of people that really feel deeply and passionate about this as a cultural gem in our community. We have no issues with home builders building homes. That's perfectly okay. We just want to see that the zoning ordinances, a part of the preserve, are respected. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jeremy Thacker. Jeremy, are you on the line?
I am. Good morning.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Council, as many of you know, I have submitted petitions to the city regarding publicly owned golf courses at the city. And I'm shocked that my petition is still not set on the agenda for any of the subcommittees of the city, much less it's not on the formal city council board. And today I'm asking that as a, not in lieu of, but in case of not being heard by the city council or the appropriate body, that this council would put the petition on the agenda for the next subcommittee to be heard, as I've identified gross misappropriations of the city's parks resources being used for golf. I believe it needs to be heard by the leadership of the city. Thank you.
Chairwoman Guardado, that is our last speaker.
Great, thank you. And thank you to everyone who took time out of their day to speak this morning. And next, we will move to approve the minutes of last month's subcommittee meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from February 2nd, 2022?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any opposed? Great, the motion passes. Next on the agenda are the consent items 2 and 3. These items are intergovernmental agreement with Arizona State University's Rob and Melanie Walton Sustainability Solution Services, and Head Start Birth to 5 program, purchase of capital equipment over $5,000. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items 2 and 3?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion passes. Next on the agenda are items for information only. Only these items are Head Start Birth to 5 monthly report, January 2022, Parks and Recreation Department preliminary capital improvement program, budget fiscal years 22 through 27. Would any of my colleagues like to hear more information on these items? Okay, hearing none, we will now move to items 6 and 7. Which
Councilwoman Guardado.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have a speaker on that. Sorry about that.
Yes, no worries. Jeremy Thacker, are you on the line?
I am.
Please proceed.
Yeah, sure. I'm commenting on the capital improvement projects for Parks and Recreation. The information provided is hardly enough to even gain any idea of what the money is going to be spent on, and the budget for individual parks. I was just curious of why this would be put in place. Also, I'm addressing the same concerns, which is the city's continued misappropriation of funds on golf courses that are used by 1% of the population, and using 20% of the resources of parks developed land. So, and 33% of all water used by parks, while paying less than 1% of the cost of that water. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman, that is the last speaker for this item.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Now, we will now move to items 6 and 7, which are for information and discussion. We will begin with item 6 to hear about the College Depot program.
Members of the subcommittee, Rita Hamilton, the city librarian, is here, and Judy Reno to present on this item.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee. Phoenix Public Library's College Depot is a unique and popular, one-of-a-kind college access assistance center. Their mission is to expand access to higher education opportunities by offering free, comprehensive college planning services. Judy Reno is the director of College Depot, and she will give you an overview of their important programs.
Good morning, Councilwoman Guardado and subcommittee members. Thank you for the opportunity to tell you about how College Depot makes a difference in our community. College Depot was launched in 2009 by Debbie Dillon, Youth and Education Manager for the City of Phoenix at that time. College Depot is physically located on the second floor of the Burton Barr Central Library. Our mission is to expand access to higher education opportunities for underserved populations in the Phoenix community by offering free, comprehensive education planning services. College Depot is a unique, one-of-a-kind college access assistance center serving middle school, high school, college students, and adults. The center has undergone 2 expansions over the past 13 years and is now more than 10,000 square feet and includes an auditorium, a digital classroom, and a workshop room. College Depot staff assist almost 26,000 students a year. Individuals and families as they take concrete steps towards college and career planning, which includes aptitude tests such as the ACT and SAT, completing college and apprenticeship applications, navigating financial aid and scholarship resources, writing personal statements, and much more. Our services are offered 6 days a week, including evenings and weekends. One-on-one appointments are offered in person, online, and over the phone. In addition to one-on-one appointments, College Depot provides group workshops, hands-on labs, and professional development opportunities. What makes our service special is us advisors stay with their assigned student and their family throughout the student's entire college admissions journey. What we hear most from our students is how valuable they find this one-on-one personalized support. I think Giselle puts it best when she tells us that she would not have understood how to do this process on her own. In 2016, College Depot launched Craft a Profession in partnership with Phoenix's Community and Economic Development Department. The intent of this service is to better shine a spotlight on education and job opportunities within industries that offer get paid while you learn options through apprenticeships. Craft a Profession weaves apprenticeships and trades into our wide menu of post-secondary options offered to students during our one-on-one appointments and group workshops. Last summer, we hosted a wonderful virtual session with guest speakers from various sectors, including Michael Pinder with the City of Phoenix, as he shared apprenticeship options within the Streets Department. It is now posted on our YouTube channel, so the content is always available. One important component of Craft a Profession is the professional development resource that we offer educators and high school guidance counselors, supporting them with apprenticeship options as they guide their students in planning for post-secondary education paths. As with all of our College Depot services, for those choosing this route, we continue with ongoing support throughout their journey. Roman, pictured here with his mechanic tools, recently left prison with dreams of becoming a diesel mechanic, but did not know where to begin. Craft a Profession staff worked with Roman in applying for and securing an apprenticeship as a diesel mechanic. As part of his program, Roman needed tools, lots of tools, to learn this new craft. His Craft a Profession advisor, Robert, encouraged him to apply for our Deborah J. Dillon Bridge Award, in which he was able to secure the funds needed to buy the tools required for his learning. Roman recently wrote to us with news that he is doing great in his program and has a baby on the way. Another workforce focal point for College Depot is offered through our Career Online High School program. Through funding secured by the Phoenix Public Library Foundation, we are able to offer adults ages 21 and up the opportunity to earn an accredited high school diploma and career training in a variety of areas, including office management, customer service, food service, transportation services, and more. And we now have celebrated more than 200 graduates from that program. Our COVID pandemic response inspired a new program for high school students called GRIT, Graduating Ready, Independent, and Tenacious. Designed for first-generation high school students, GRIT provides a more connected, hands-on program approach, including mentoring, career and college counseling, and step-by-step completion of important education milestones. Thanks to a budget supplemental, we were able to add 2 full-time positions to the College Depot, and this has supported our being able to serve more students through GRIT. Being responsive to our target audience, we utilize QR codes to make GRIT more discoverable. One special resource we offer students is access to the Deborah J. Dillon Bridge Award. This award, established with the Phoenix Public Library Foundation after Debbie's passing last year, was created to support students as they pursue their continuing education aspirations. Inspired by Debbie's passion, this award is in place to help students overcome obstacles to their success, funding unique schooling needs such as transportation passes, parking fees, testing costs, ordering transcripts, and, as I mentioned in Craft a Profession's story about Roman, tools or materials needed to complete a learning journey. Another Deborah J. Dillon Award recipient is Jose, who you can see pictured on this slide. Jose was awarded a laptop for him to use in the senior year of high school and the summer preparing for college and then into his college program. In fact, this inspired College Depot to secure support from Phoenix Mayor Gallego, Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman, and the Arizona Department of Education to launch a long-term laptop lending program. In spring of 2021, College Depot, with support of Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego and Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman, was awarded over $800,000 from the Arizona Department of Education's Elementary and Second School Emergency Relief Fund. These funds allowed us to establish a long-term laptop and hotspot lending program for students, allowing them to check out the devices they need to support their learning through full semesters and those critical summer months. As part of Phoenix Public Library's ARPA 2 proposal, College Depot is requesting the creation of a designated learning center and tutoring services. Housed on the second floor of Burton Bar Central Library, the Learning Center will offer responsive and proactive resources meant to address educational discrepancies which have been exacerbated by COVID-19. In-person guidance will be delivered through classrooms and designated tutoring pods. Tutoring services will include homework help, general academic support, GED preparation in English and in Spanish, ACT and SAT preparation, study materials, skill building, and we will incorporate Phoenix Union High School alumni to serve as near-peer tutors. This service will include expanding web-based learning resources and coordinating with Phoenix City Council members and community partners in identifying regions in Phoenix with the greatest need in which we could host supplemental outreach services at additional Phoenix Public Library locations. How to find us and get started can be found on College Depot at Phoenix Public Library's website on phoenixpubliclibrary.org. This virtual access to our expertise is regularly utilized by high school guidance counselors from districts throughout Phoenix and offers a robust scholarship directory, as well as options for making individual and family appointments. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to share with you an overview of College Depot's services and the impact we have in the lives of many. It is a privilege to represent this collaboration, vision, and the responsiveness from Phoenix Public Library and City of Phoenix leadership that makes College Depot possible. Now take questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation. That was amazing. You did awesome work. Councilmember Garcia?
Thank you, Chairwoman. With the relief funds that we've approved some programs such as tuition for community colleges and support in trades. Can you speak a little bit of how the program works with other programs that we have at the city and workforce development and so on?
Absolutely. We try to work very closely with all of our partners within the city and with community partners as well to make sure that we're supplementing each other's great work and really trying to connect our students with all the great resources that are out there.
Yeah, so those scholarships that are going to be put out there and all those resources, they're also available when they come to the resource center, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Councilwoman Stark?
Thank you. I remember Debbie Dillon, and she must be smiling from heaven because her program is so outstanding. When I first got on the council, I remember talking to you all about getting the trades involved in College Depot because not everyone wants to go to college, but they can still have a great job as an electrician or a mechanic. And so I'm really happy to see the success of craft a profession. And what a great story. The gentleman that won the scholarship and then went on to get a great job. It's very heartwarming, and thank you all for what you have done. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, likewise, I want to thank you guys for all of your hard work. Obviously, I mean, I think everyone knows that for me, as people are getting an education, having a good job, having a prevailing wage, having a living wage is incredibly important. So as much as we're promoting that, I'm always going to be incredibly supportive. We understand that we have especially in our working class communities, not everyone can go into a university. So being able to have different options are very important, especially these days. We're very excited of what will also happen at Innovation 27, aka the old Kmart. So hopefully there's partnerships that we can grow with you guys there as well once that building is ready and up and running. So thank you so much for all of your hard work. Councilwoman Ansari, did you have anything to add?
I will just echo what my colleagues have said. Thank you so much. It was, I think, my very first day on the council last April, where I visited Burton Bar and College Depot Center, and just great to see how far you all have come and the expansions that have taken place. So thank you for your hard work.
And again, thank you. I think you'll get a lot of support from this subcommittee when it comes to education and our children and our families, especially everyone that was displaced and need to find a new career after COVID. I think all of these programs are incredibly important, and I'm sure moving forward you will be incredibly busy. So thank you so much for everything.
Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee.
Thank you.
Great. And now we will move on to item 7 and get an update on our aquatics program.
Coming to the table is Cynthia Aguilar, the Parks and Recreation Director, and Becky Hewlett, who is the Aquatics Supervisor, and they'll be presenting on this topic.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. I'm Cynthia Aguilar, Parks and Recreation Director, here to provide you, along with Becky Hewlett, our Aquatics Supervisor, with an update on our aquatics recruitment efforts. In a typical swim season, our pools open on Memorial Day weekend. This year, that will be on May 28th. Pools are open through July from noon to 6 every day except Fridays when we are closed. Select pools each season remain open on weekends in August through early September. I wanted to begin by providing a quick overview of what a typical aquatic season pre-pandemic looked like in comparison to the aquatic season last year and where we are now as we prepare for the 2022 season. In 2019, again pre-pandemic, we opened all 29 pools, as we did for many years prior to that. To successfully open all 29 pools, we hired over 650 aquatics employees. That year, the pools welcomed over 463,000 visitors and over 20,000 participants in our swimming lessons. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all pools were closed in 2020, causing us to lose more than 50% of our workforce, our aquatics workforce. With only 300 aquatics employees last season, we were only able to open 12 of our 29 pools. As a result, the number of people we served in our aquatics facilities and programs decreased to about 105,000 visitors and 5,700 swim lesson participants. I do want to note, however, that thanks to your support, we were able to utilize savings from not opening all the pools last year to provide swim lessons for free. And also thanks to the Milwaukee Brewers and our Cool Kids program, pool admissions for individuals under the age of 18 were also free last year. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Becky Hewlett, our aquatic supervisor. She's going to share information with you about our ongoing recruitment efforts this season. Becky has 29 years of experience in the field of aquatics, and she's been recognized nationally across the country for her work, and she's been our aquatic supervisor for the past 15 years.
Thank you, Cynthia, and good morning, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee. So what does it take to be a lifeguard for an 8-week summer job? You have to be 15 years old, and in order to become a certified lifeguard, you take an online 8-hour course as well as a 20-hour in-person certification course. Through those hours of training, you are certified as a lifeguard, which is all the rescue skills needed to be a lifeguard. as well as basic first aid, bloodborne pathogens, and basic life support for professional rescuers, CPR and AED. And that is the level of certification for all of our medical providers as well. In addition to the 28-hour course to become a lifeguard, lifeguards have to maintain their certifications and require 48 hours of ongoing annual training throughout the year. Because we are seasonal, a lot of this training takes place in May and throughout the months of June and July. Each year, these certifications expire. They're only a one-year certification, so lifeguards have to go through a minimum of an 8-hour recertification course annually to keep their certifications. Thanks to the Phoenix Parks Foundation, they sponsored us $14,000 in order to help us reduce the cost of courses to become certified. In a normal year, lifeguards would pay $85 to take the certification course, and if they wanted to become a swim lesson instructor, they would pay $120. Thanks to the sponsorship, both courses were reduced to $20 to alleviate the barriers of cost for people to become certified this summer. As far as our recruitments go, we started back in June. Normally we start our typical recruitment in September, but knowing how difficult it was to get our 300 last year, we began very early for this year's recruitment efforts. We were able to work with the communications office and create a new Instagram page for our lifeguards. It's at Phoenix Lifeguards. And this is an opportunity to speak to lifeguards and speak to teens where they are at on social media. So we've had a great push through this recruitment effort on the social media aspect. In addition, we utilize our virtual recruitment efforts, and this includes reaching out to our high schools, to our colleges, to ASU, to administrators, teachers, coaches, those kinds of things, and sharing information with them to allow them to share with their students. We provide information on course certifications, we provide information on applications. We share this video that we have online that talks about what a great job it is to be a lifeguard to help with the recruitment efforts. In addition to reaching out to hundreds of administrators in schools, we also go to schools, and we are in high schools. We visit the swim meets that take place where all the teens are at, the swimmers are at, to try to encourage them to become lifeguards. As you can see, we had over 650 people interested in becoming lifeguards based on those visits that we made from September until currently. In addition to the virtual, to the in-person tabling at schools, we worked with our team to provide a new event called Bring Your Buddy to Work event. We started that in August, and the idea was to recruit from the lifeguards we currently had in the 2021 season. Bring your friends to work, show them what it's like to be a lifeguard, come have fun, and encourage them to become lifeguards. We also have participated in community and neighborhood events. Anytime there's a job fair, we are there. We're talking about what a great job it is to be a lifeguard. We've worked with our communications office to ensure that publications are going out through our newsletters, through our city publications to all city employees. And then we also utilize the social media, not only the parks and the Phoenix Lifeguards, but the city social media, Facebook, those kinds of things as well. We have a partnership with Borgade Catholic High School where they are offering these certification courses, both the Star Guard certification and the Swim Lesson Instructor certification for school credit. So the students participate in these two courses at the end of each semester. They are certified in either Star Guard and or the Swim Lesson Instructor course, and then they have the opportunity to apply with us, and as long as they go through that application and through the clearing process, we then have the opportunity to hire those students as well. The other thing we're doing as far as recruitment for lifeguards is our Junior Lifeguard and Lifeguard Academy. These are Cigna summer programs that we were doing prior to the pandemic, and this is something that targets kids that are interested in becoming lifeguards showing them what it's like to become a lifeguard. Our junior lifeguard program was typically about 150 people. And then the Lifeguard Academy program, which was, the juniors were 13 to 15 years old, and Lifeguard Academy was for kids 15 and older, the kids that were old enough to become lifeguards. And in that program, they would become certified as lifeguards in the beginning months of June, and then we were able to hire them in the month of July. So where are we now? Cynthia, I'm going to go ahead and give this back to you.
Thank you, Becky. Apologies. Thank you, Becky. And so definitely we want to spend some time talking about what all of this means as far as the upcoming 2022 swim season. In pre-pandemic seasons, we saw close to a 50% lifeguard retention rate. To date, only about 39% of the lifeguards who worked last season have either indicated they plan to return and or have completed the necessary steps to work for us this season. Additionally, despite our recruitment efforts, interest and participation in our lifeguard certification classes for new lifeguards is significantly lower than it has been in previous years. As a result, we are still short more than 400 lifeguards that would be needed for us to open all 29 pools this year. To open at least 12 pools, as we did last season, we still need to hire more than 100 lifeguards. I would like to note that we are not alone in this, as there continues to be a lifeguard shortage here in the Valley and across the country. This slide shows just a few articles of many, many others from the past year highlighting the lifeguard shortage issue. As you can see, one of the articles states there are not enough lifeguards to reopen the pools, which is certainly the situation that we are in. Another highlights a Seattle Park beach that had to close due to the shortage. And again, there are just many more highlighting this challenge. Our neighboring cities are facing the exact same challenge, causing them to close and or reduce and modify their aquatic programs and facilities as well. Some of the feedback we are hearing is that our target demographic, which tends to be high school and or college students, are going to work in positions such as fast food, retail, where they can earn similar or higher wages while also not having to take the required certification and training and work in a position that essentially requires them to be responsible for saving someone's life. To assist with this and attract more lifeguard candidates, we have received approval to implement incentive pay for our lifeguards in the amount of $1,000 per lifeguard. The incentive essentially would reimburse the cost of the 28 hours these individuals spent obtaining their lifeguard certification, and it also equates to raising their current hourly wage from just over $14 an hour to closer to $17 an hour, $16.79. This will help compensate for the difference in pay of other positions here in the Parks Department, as well as some of the other Valley cities who have also increased their lifeguard pay to over $15 an hour. Lifeguards who work the entire season, which is essentially April 30th when they begin training, through July 31st, would be eligible to receive the incentive pay at the end of the season. Awarding the incentive pay for us at the end of the season is really critical because it not only helps with recruitment, but it really helps with retention throughout the season. Even pre-pandemic, we would see our lifeguard numbers drop midway through the season, maybe, and so we really want to incentivize them to stay with us to keep these pools open the entire summer. Lifeguard certification courses will continue through March. Our goal is to continue hiring as many as we can. The final number of lifeguards will determine how many pools we can open this summer. Based on the number of individuals who have signed up for upcoming certification courses, we are hopeful that we will be able to reach the number needed to at least open 12 pools as we did last summer. To determine which pools will be open this summer, staff will review pool attendance numbers, pools that were closed last summer in hopes of getting some of those open this summer. And we will also take into consideration geographic locations to ensure equitable coverage across the city the best we can. I also wanted to take this opportunity to share information with you on some of the challenges that we continue to experience with the condition of our aquatics facilities. Due to the age of many of our pools, constant renovations and repairs are required to maintain these facilities and keep them available for public use. The average age of the 29 pools in our system is 57 years old. In the past, 2 pools have structurally failed or required significant repairs, leading to temporary pool closures, making them unavailable to the public for extended periods of time. The photo on the left is Sunny Slope Pool, which had to be shut down halfway through the season last year due to staff discovering a significant leak. As our team reviewed our water report, we noticed the pool had leaked 750,000 gallons of water. You would think this would be very obvious, but there was no water at the surface to show this. It was simply discovered through our water report. That's more than 1.5 times the amount of water that Sunny Slope Pool holds. So repair work has continued at Sunny Slope Pool and is expected to be completed by May. The photo on the right is East Lake Pool, which has failed entirely and is beyond repair. You can see the significant cracks in the concrete pool shell, which shows the pool sunk and structurally has been compromised. East Lake Pool is historic, just as the park is, and plays a significant role in the community. Our plan is to engage the East Lake community to provide them with an update on the status of the pool and determine what type of aquatics amenity they wish to see at East Lake Park. Due to its historic nature, there are really 2 options, which is to replace the pool like for like, or Historic Preservation has also stated that we could replace it or repurpose it with a water play area. Therefore, that community engagement process will begin later this month, and we will work through that through April to hear and really listen to what the community would like to see. Another contributing factor to the deterioration of our older pools is that many of our pools are concrete, and they sit empty for a majority of the year. Due to the pandemic and lifeguard shortage, many have remained empty now for 2 years, exposing the surface to our extreme heat temperatures and increasing the likelihood they will continue to deteriorate at an even faster pace. While we will not be opening all 29 pools again, we are looking into filling all pools with water this year, irregardless, to help minimize this risk. Our aging pool infrastructure is something the Aquatics Advisory Committee recently reviewed and addressed in their final recommendations. The committee recommended that we identify select pools to upgrade with additional amenities to serve as more regional type of destination aquatics facilities that would have heaters and essentially be open year-round. They also recommended we repurpose aging and underutilized pools. Creating year-round regional destination facilities would allow the department to explore the feasibility of repurposing underutilized and aging aquatic facilities with other aquatic facilities such as splash pads, potentially providing these communities with an aquatics amenity that could be available for up to 7 months out of a year versus a typical 8 to 10 week season. It also simultaneously helps us address the number of lifeguards that would be needed by doing something like that as well. And that concludes our presentation today. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much for that, Cynthia. That was a really great report. I think we've had many conversations about I know we've been talking about our pools since last year, and as you guys know, as a mom of 2 small children, I know how important our city pools are to our families each year, especially given the pandemic and given everything that everyone's been going through for the last 2 years. I also know how hard our Parks and Recreation team has been working on recruiting the lifeguards we need to get our pools open this year, but we are approaching a critical period to get folks hired. I appreciate the move to implement an incentive to pay program of $1,000 per lifeguard, but our recruitment numbers have still not moved much. And I know that it has nothing to do with wanting to get out there and recruit more people, but we know that this is a challenge that every industry is going through. Many Valley cities have already raised the hourly rate for lifeguards to $15 per hour. I believe that Phoenix should not be playing catch up with other cities. When it comes to being the best place to work, Phoenix should be leading from the front. That is why I think we should consider changes to ensure Phoenix is the best place in Arizona to work as a lifeguard. I would suggest that we raise lifeguard pay to $20 an hour and continue the 1,000 incentive package, provide a 100 bonus to lifeguards for each successful employment referral, separately pay for the full cost of the 28 hours required certification training, and also pay lifeguards their fully hourly rate to receive this training. To provide Phoenix residents with access to pools with fully staffed and well-trained lifeguards, we need to understand how much the job market has changed. We should lead the way by embracing this change so that our residents can enjoy everything our aquatics programs can offer. And I like the ideas on your last slides in terms of repurposing some of the pools. I'm trying to be a little bit more open to changes. I think it's something that the pandemic has taught us is that we need to readjust, we need to change. I would love to, I'll let my colleagues speak, but, I would also like to hear maybe after comments, just a little bit what you guys think we should be doing moving forward. I don't think it's fair that we're only going to open up 12 pools. I think we should be doing, we definitely should not go another year and only having 12 pools open. We should figure out a way, how do we change that, and what are the steps that we need to take to do the changes that we have to make, whether it is that we repurpose pools, whether it means that we come up with a different plan. I'd be very open to having more of a discussion on that. Thank you for that presentation. Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you for the presentation. I agree with a lot of the points that were made. I do think expect folks to do the 28-hour course without pay is a barrier, sounds like a barrier. So I think figuring out how we either do a bonus up front to kind of pay for those 28 hours, either at the rate or I also agree with the $20 rate. I think as we see that we're not going to have enough, I don't think, we obviously have allotted a certain amount of money for all the pools to open, and if we can't do that, I think we should try to do as many as possible. Definitely either with a signing bonus or raising pay to 20, but I do think the 28 hours, we should figure out a way to stipend that or give a signing bonus. I also think we should, and again, this comes to mind because it's your department, Cynthia, but I think it seems like programs like the PAC program that we're also having a hard time figuring out how to hire folks there. If those folks who are obviously off for the summer, and then we need them we need lifeguards in the summer, if there's an ability to actually look at folks being able to take part in year-round employment, and they just get assigned to do different programs, either after school programs, park programs, whatever else we could think of, to work in different parts of parks departments. I would love to look at that, and obviously meaning hopefully bringing their wages up and making them part of the team year round. Those are my comments, and please let us know how else we can be helpful. But I really do think it's important, especially for the last couple of years, that our youth have had having to be indoors. Some youth didn't have their pools open in the last year. And so I really think going into this summer, it's crucial for us to be able to have as many pools open as possible.
Great. Councilwoman Stark?
Yes, I agree too. It's a tough job they have, and they require a lot of training, and yet we're paying less than other professions and other businesses. So I think we need to be competitive as well. And I'm also open to the idea of looking at more the splash pads and innovative ways so that we can provide recreation and fun for our children. So I like the idea of looking at the wage.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I think we should look at the regional approach. I think we should look at repurposing. I just think that it's not right that now we're gonna make decisions, who's gonna get their pools open and who's not. And I get it, that's where we're at today, but I would really ask you guys to really look at that and see how we do that so that everyone can have some sort of experience, and we're not deciding, or you guys don't have the tough job to tell us, these are your pools that are not going to be open this year, because I don't think anyone's going to be happy with that. But I do feel strongly that we should be looking at the regional approach and repurposing some of our pools as well. Any other questions?
Chairwoman, I had a couple more.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Okay. Two things I forgot to mention. One, I think last year we talked about it, but it was a little too late. But the possibility of transportation from one potential closed site to an open site. And then the other thing with the splash pads, and I think we've had conversations before, I agree with looking for different sites. It's going to be interesting to go through the East Lake process. It's in District 8. But also looking into opening longer periods. I think those are, I know we have Memorial Day to Labor Day usually what folks think about, but I think the splash pads another could be, maybe spring break to fall break. I'm just making up dates now, but just really looking into being able to have longer periods of those being open.
Great. Councilwoman, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just have one question for Cynthia. In regards to how agile we can be in terms of making changes if we are more successful with hiring, how far in advance do you need to plan for more parks opening? Or can you, if you're able to hire enough people, can you make that decision to add more, within days or weeks?
Madam Chair, Councilwoman Ansari, members of the subcommittee, that's a great question. There is some flexibility. It's just about the timing of when we're able to onboard those individuals. So ideally, the training is completed, or those that are getting certified or recertified has been done by the end of March, no later than early April, because then they move into the onboarding process with us and also additional training that they go through. If we are successful in exceeding the number of lifeguards we need to open those 12 pools, we will be prepared to have a plan on what would pool number 13 be, what would pool number 14 be. It's all going to be a matter of numbers, but at some point we do have to have a cutoff to provide the training that we need to provide those guards and get them on our payroll system. So by, I would say, no later than early to mid-April, at that point, whatever that is likely the number of pools we will know we will be able to have open and keep open.
So what is the reason why we don't offer trainings in April or May or into the summer?
Yeah, Councilwoman Ansari, that's a good question. Actually, last year we did continue to offer certification courses in the summer, and we will look to do that. In the end, they ended up, I believe, and Becky can correct me if I'm wrong, helping supplement some of the lifeguards that we were just losing. So we continued to do those classes, and they were able to help us fill with gaps that we had from lifeguards that would just stop working midway through the season. And Becky, I would ask you to add if you have anything.
Yeah. That is correct. We did offer classes through the month of June and July. The participation in those classes was very minimal. And so by the time we actually got them hired on, the ones that finished the classes in June actually started the end of July that were able to supplement, but we were losing them so quickly that they weren't filling the holes. And so our plan is to continue to teach courses through June and July as we did this past year. And especially through bringing back that Lifeguard Academy program. We did not do that last year with the SIGNA program because of COVID-related issues, and now the intention is to re-image that program and make it a longer program. And so we are in the process of creating those courses that will will happen throughout the months of June and July, and even into August and September to help us for the next year as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because it sounds like that could also maybe be a barrier depending on people's flexibility and a lot of people, moving from job to job. But I just also wanted to echo, I fully support Councilwoman Guardado and Garcia's points. I think the last research I read said that in order to only work one job and be able to afford living in the city of Phoenix, you actually need to make more than $22 an hour. So definitely would support a bump to 20, maybe even higher. I don't know. That research was 1 or 2 years old as well. So, I think, like they said, we should be leading the way when it comes to pay standards.
Great, thank you for that. And Becky, and not to put you on the spot here, but I would like to hear from you. Like, I mean, you're the expert here. You've been doing this for 15 years. You're not going to hold you to this, but what do you think we should be doing in terms of, we have a shortage of over 100 lifeguards. The problem doesn't, and it was a problem before COVID. And it's a huge problem now. I think in 2020 we were like, oh, thank God we don't have to go out and get more lifeguards. But now here we are. Like, what should we? And if you cannot answer that right now, that's okay. But I would like for you to come back and give us your thoughts in terms of what should we be doing.
Well, thank you, Councilwoman. As you know, I've been in aquatics for a long time, so aquatics is my passion. And teaching kids how to swim is a passion of mine. And so in the end, opening pools and having pools that are available to our community in ways that they can recreate, learn how to swim, and we can utilize those pools throughout the entire city. We don't have heaters in every part of the city. So upgrading facilities to allow us to offer those kinds of things will help us in the long run achieve finding lifeguards and swim instructors and those kinds of things, as long as we can do that across the city. Right now, one of the biggest barriers is our heaters are located on the outlying pools, on nothing in central Phoenix. It's on the west side, it's down in Ahwatukee, it's very north. And so some of those barriers are transportation, and the lifeguards who are 15 years old, parents trying to figure out how they're going to get them to courses and how they're going to get them to pools. So I think, the lifeguard shortage is definitely something that we've been feeling before the pandemic. The pandemic has definitely exacerbated that whole issue. But I think that, we are currently competing with, as Cynthia had stated, other wages, in the fast food industry and the retail industry. And so those, when I started almost 30 years ago, that was never a consideration. Lifeguards were paid probably double minimum wage at the time. You were able to pay for college at that time through the wages that you earned. And so I think that if we get closer to something like that, we're going to attract those kinds of people again. I just think that it's very difficult at this point to continue to try to find 650 teenagers that are willing to work, and a lot of them travel across the city for the pay that when they can pass by 15 different places that they would have an opportunity to work to earn more money.
Great, thank you for that. And Cynthia, another question. The 38 hours to maintain the certification, do they do it when they're on the job, or do they have to do that on their own? How does that work?
Sure, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. The 28-hour certification class is something that's unpaid because they're not yet on city payroll. And so one thing just to factor in is that they can get that certification and then go work anywhere. So them getting that certification doesn't commit them to being a lifeguard in the city. So that's what makes this training a little unique, is that I could go participate, get my lifeguard certification, and at that point decide what city, I want to work work in. I think we've done some research, and I've not seen in any of the research that we have that other cities are paying their lifeguards for that time or reimbursing them just yet. So it would really be this is really a big deal for us to use that $1,000 incentive this season to reimburse them for that time once they've committed to working for us, as an employer for the summer. And then there's also ongoing training as well. Once they're on city payroll with us, that training is paid training that they do once they're a City of Phoenix employee.
Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for that. I think we gave a bunch of ideas. Be more than happy to talk to you guys more about that moving forward. I know that we're, pressed for time and there's decisions that need to be made, but let's continue the conversation. Let's figure out a plan of what we can do moving forward so we're not in the same place in the next couple of years. But does anyone else have any other questions? Great. Well, with that, thank you guys so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
And now we'll have a chance for another call to the public. Nick, do we have anyone?
Chairwoman, we do not have any speakers.
Perfect. And now, do any of my colleagues have any future items that they would like to discuss? Okay, well, hearing none, the only thing I would like to say is that, given how the CDC guidelines have changed and given, what everything that we've been seeing from CDC, we will be moving our subcommittee meetings to in-person for whomever feels comfortable coming in person. So starting next month, some of us will be coming back to chambers and joining you guys for the meeting. So I just wanted to make that announcement and give people that option to come in person, or we could just, if whoever wants to stay online can stay online, but starting next month, some of us will be coming back to chambers. And with that, I think that is the last item on today's agenda. And I would like to thank my colleagues for being part of the subcommittee and joining in conversation. And with that, I believe we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.